This video brought to you by Derek Cheong Kim Weng. Thank you so much for supporting. If you want to support us, please check our Patreon page linked below. Alright, hello everyone, my name is Hendrik Prasetyo from To Learn channel, and this time I will be continuing on how to make a DLC system, a downloadable content system in Unity game engine with assets bundle. So let's get started. By the way, this is the second part of the tutorial series. If you haven't watched the first part yet, then please click on the pop-up cards above to go to the video. Alright, so what we're going to make is exactly like this. I have a scene where this scene has a DLC list and a scene list. Let's play it. Yeah, here we go. I have this scene list active, and I haven't downloaded any scene yet because I need to download the DLC first. So go ahead and click the download DLC, and this list is downloaded from a DLC list, a file, a txt file which contain the DLC list. Here I can open it. This file will be downloaded first, and the game will get the list of DLC from these files, which is the DLC name and the DLC URL. And here it is. I can download it. Click download. If I download this, then I will get my DLC stored in a folder called DLC in my local folder. Here there is a folder called DLC. Then whenever I download the DLC, it will be saved here. So let's try it. Hit download. Yeah, the download is finished, and this list, this download process has a progress bar on it. It's really nice. And yeah, I've downloaded one DLC, and they will be saved over here, my dlc.dlc, which is my Unity logo scene. And I can go back to the scene list, go back, and I have my scene listed over here, which is Unity's logo. And I can load this scene, open it, click on the Unity's logo button, and I can load the scene. This is a scene from assets bundle, not in our project actually. This scene is created like yesterday from my previous video. So yeah, get back to the main scene, and I want to download another scene. I want to download another DLC, which is primitive models. It's contain two DLC. This one, the first DLC, is containing only one scene, but the second one is containing two scene, which is cube scene and cylinder scene. Let's download it. So I go back to the main scene, and I have two additional scene being added. I can load this scene. There we go. It's pretty nice. Go back and load the cylinder scene. Yeah, it works. The workflow is really simple. Not really. Yeah, I have this Unity DLC script which will download the txt file here, just like I did before, and then I have a UI scene which will list the scene and and I have the UI DLC, which will contain the DLC list. The DLC list is downloaded from the text file. So yeah, let's learn how to do that. So first thing first, we will build an assets bundle containing a scene and make a multiple assets bundles scene loader, which is I've ever done this before in the previous video. So please watch the previous video to get to this video. I mean, to continue this video, and then after that we make an assets bundle listing system with a text file. This is my, where's that? Yeah, this is it. My assets bundle listing here with the text file. And we also gonna learn the process of how DLC files downloaded and stored. And we're also gonna make this DLC system works on standalone and Android platform. In this project, we are going to use system.io because we want to do some file operations like file.write and check the file is if it's there is not. And yeah, first, here is the building pipeline. So first we have the assets in the project files and the project, then we add them to an assets bundle. After the assets bundle is builded, then we upload it to our server or to somewhere that can be downloaded with www. I will place my assets bundle file in my local folder, I mean in my local computer or somewhere there, so I can download them with file protocol, something like this. I will download my assets bundle with URL file blah blah blah, and there's my file there. And second, we also gonna make this listing text file using a text file to store assets list along with their URL and store them to somewhere that can be downloaded with www. So go back to Unity. I will delete all of this, my hard work, delete this folder DLC at yeah, delete them, and also delete this, create a new scene, don't save it. And streaming assets, we also gonna delete this because we're gonna make it from scratch. Create a new folder. I'm gonna name it Unity DLC system, whatever you call it, and create another folder called script I mean folder, not script, folder script. Delete this. What? I just delete my folder. Let's create it again. Create folder called script, whatever you call it, and yeah, first we need to make this no, first we're gonna make the assets bundle, but I already have the assets bundle here in my assets bundle folder here. I will be using these two DLC, my dlc.dlc and primitive.dlc, and then we're gonna make the assets bundle list with a text file. So create a text file here, whatever you pledge it, it doesn't matter where you pledge it because we're gonna download it. I'm gonna place it in my yeah, let's create another folder, call it call it like info. It's pretty makes sense. Create a new text file. Where's that? There we go. I'm gonna name it dlc list, and then we're gonna list our DLC here. First I'm gonna name a DLC here. The DLC name over here, I'm gonna name it Unity logo, and then separate it by a sum string. I will be using this string URL. Then here we can place our URL of the DLC. I'm going to download it with file URL, copy the link, then paste it over here. Do the same, primitive models URL, copy the link and paste it over here. Save the file of the DLC, then go back to after we create our list of DLC. Then let's learn how the process of this DLC system. First, we have our txt file stored on our server. Then this txt file contains a collection of DLC. It's separated by line. So the first line is the first DLC, the second line is the second DLC. Then we download these txt files with the www class from Unity, and then we get every line of this text file. Then we store it to an array of string. We're gonna store the DLC names and the DLC URLs. You can also use a dictionary, but this time I'll just gonna use an array. After we get the DLC names and the URLs, we can instantiate, we can show the list of this DLC with the Unity UI element. Here we will make this later, and when we click the download button, when we click on the download button, then it will download the DLC from the DLC URL from an array of this variable, and then store it to a folder called DLC. And we also gonna make this folder available with our script. We're gonna create it from script. After we save it to local folder, then we can use it. We can load it to our game and load the scene. But in Android there is some problem. We cannot save our file to a local folder or somewhere in the SD card. I don't know how to do that, but there is this persistent data path. We can save the file on this persistent data path on Android, but in the standalone we can use I forget in standalone we can use data path instead of persistent data path. Please check Unity documentation for the difference of persistent data path versus data path. So after we download the bundle and save it to our folder, then we can make the DLC loading system. First, we're gonna get all of the assets bundle from the folder and load it, and we store it to a list of assets bundle here. And also before we load it, we're gonna check if the file is exist or not. If it exists, then we're gonna download it, load it from the disk, and then gonna store it to the list. And after we get the bundle, we can get the information of chain names from the bundle. And after we finish downloading and finish getting the chain names from the bundle, we need to delete Unison previously downloaded DLC files, which is the files that is no longer used because of maybe increment update or deleted from DLC list. So whenever you delete the DLC from this list, it will also be deleted from your client game, because your client game will check this first if the model is exist or not. And also, if you want to update your bundle, if you want to update your DLC, you just need to increment your DLC file name like this, mydlc.dlc. Just increment the name of it, so like this, mydlc -1 or mydlc.1.dlc, whatever you call it, yeah, like that. So yeah, let's continue with the scripting. Go back to Unity, go back to the script folder, and then create a new script. I'm gonna name it Unity DLC. Reload the solutions, then open the script. Then first thing first, I'm gonna delete this, and then gonna make some variables to reference the UI. No. And then we're gonna make a variable called public string DLC list, DLC list URL, and then when the game start, we're gonna call the coroutine start, enumerator start, and then we're gonna download this DLC list URL, which is our text file. So using www is equal to new www DLC list URL. Wait it to finish download, yield return www. Then we're gonna check if there is an error or not. If the string of www.error is not empty, then we're gonna debug.logerror www.error. But we also gonna break this coroutine. We're not gonna continue on next line, yield break. And then if there is no error, then we continue on this line. We gonna get the DLC names information from the text file, but first we're gonna need to make a variable called string, an array of string called DLC names and string DLC URLs. And first we gonna where is my First we're gonna read out the line of this file. So string line is equal to www.text to get the text of the file, dot split to split it, the separator will be used is new string, an array of string, system dot environment dot new line, which is the new line, and then system dot string split options dot remove empty entries. So the blank line will not be added to the list of lines. After we get every lines, we're gonna fill the DLC names. So DLC names is equal to, we're gonna use some conversion here. So system.array, we're gonna convert all of these array variables. System.array.convert all lines, and then the input is lines, and then we're gonna use some lambda operations. I'm gonna name this variable as DLC, and for every DLC I'm gonna split it, dlc.split, with a new string, and this time the separator will be our URL sign, like that. System dot string split options dot none. And because we convert it from this line to with the URL sign, so it will be, the array will be like this. It's a 0 element will be Unity logo, and the second element, the first index, will be the URL of our list, like that. So because we're gonna need this string first, so we're gonna enter index 0. Done. And after that, we're gonna fill these DLC URLs. DLC URLs is equal to system.array.convert all lines, just like before, but this time we're gonna use the index 1, dlc.split new string URL system.string split options.none, and enter the index of the element, which is 1, because we're gonna get the URL of it. Okay, so now if we check it in Unity, first I'm gonna make this variable as public so I can see them in the inspector. Public. Okay, then go back to Unity, create a new game object, create empty, name it manager, and add a component Unity DLC, and just enter the DLC list, which is this file. copy the link, paste it over here. Okay, you see these variables, this array, DLC names and DLC URLs is empty, but when we start the game, it will filled with the DLC names and the DLC URLs, so we can download it from this URL, and we can instantiate our button and fill the button with these informations. So after this, we're gonna make some UI reference. So I will make this back to a private variable. Make a variable. This will be the UI DLC maybe. Then we create a public transform root DLC container and create a prefab, a reference to a prefab, maybe game object, but later on we're not gonna use game object. Okay, so here we're not gonna use game object, we're not gonna instantiate the game object. Actually, we're gonna use some script to drive this game object. So create another script, call it DLC, reload the solutions, and then open the script. In this script, I will create the UI, I mean the button of download DLC. First, I'm going to need a reference to the UI. Make a header, UI stuff, and then create public. First, add a namespace using unityengine.ui, so we can make a variable type of image, call it image, and then make a variable public image background public text name text, and then public slider progress bar, and then public button download button, and then create an appearance, I don't know how to spell it, and public color available color, and then public color downloaded color. So this is the color when the DLC is ready to download, and this is the color when we already download the DLC. And we're also gonna need some bundle URL information and the file path. So create a private variable type of string called bundle URL, and then string again file path, because we're gonna do some file operations, so we need this using system.io namespace, so we can use file class. Create a method public void init to initialize it, and we need a parameter type of string. I will name this DLC name, and then string DLC URL, and I'm gonna apply the name of this DLC to the name text, to the UI element. So name text.text is equal to DLC name, and bundle URL is equal to dlc URL. The file path is equal to, first we need the path to the DLC folder. In the editor, the DLC folder will be stored in the root of assets folder, but in the standalone it will be stored in the data folder. In the Android it will be stored in the persistent data path. We need to locate that folder first, and I'm gonna do that in unity dlc.cs. I'm gonna make some static variable here. Static, I mean public static string dlc path, and also I'm gonna need a public static unity dlc main get private set, so we can get the reference to this unity dlc component whatever we want. Main is equal to this object, and then dlc path is equal to, first we're gonna check if we in the Android or not. Like if application.platform is equal to runtime platform.android, then the DLC path is equal to application.persistent data path plus slash DLC slash, then if it's not in the Android, then we're gonna enter dlc path is equal to application.datapath plus slash dlc slash. But there is a shortcut to do this using I don't know, I forget the name of this feature, but let's do it. dlc path is equal to, gonna make some blocks. We're gonna check if this application.platform is equal to runtime platform.android or not. Then make a question mark. If it's true, then we're gonna enter application.persistent data path, else we're gonna enter application.data path plus string dlc slash. That's the shortcut. And then go back to the dlc.cs. Now we can fill this file path with, first I'm gonna need to reference, no, because the dlc path is a static variable, then we can get it from here without even has a reference to the unity dlc component. Unity dlc dot path dlc path plus path dot get file name dlc URL, and we set the background color to initialize the background color dot color is equal to, we're gonna check if we already download this or not. So we need to make a bool variable, bool downloaded is equal to, to check that we're gonna check if the file is exists or not in the DLC folder. File.exist, enter the file path, and then we can use that variable. Is it downloaded or not? Question mark is If it's true, then we enter downloaded color. If it's false, then we enter available color. After that, set the progress bar value weight to this is color, not collider. Set the progress bar value weight to, if it's downloaded, then set it to 1. If it's not downloaded, set it to 0. And set the download button also. Download button dot game object dot set active. If we have this file exists in the folder, then we gonna disable this download button. We have this download variable, which is bool. It will be true if the file is exists, but we need to passing a false value to this set active when the file is exists. So we just need to negate the downloaded, like that, and make another method called download. This will be the UI event listener, button listener, and when we click this download button, it will call this method, and then it will start a coroutine enumerator called download. Just start the coroutine, called download, and in this coroutine we will download our DLC from the URL, from the given URL. So download, first we gonna disable the download button. Download button dot game object dot set active to false. Then we're gonna use a www class. Www is equal to new www object bundle URL. I would recommend you to use this using www, because it will be disposed automatically. And after that, because we're gonna display the progress bar value, so we, instead of using yield return, we will use while loop. If the www is not done, then and the string dot is null or empty, and the www dot error is empty, then we're gonna keep looping on this while loop. We're gonna update the progress bar value. Progress bar dot value is equal to www dot progress. Oops. And then yield return null. You need to do this, because if we don't do this, the while loop will be freeze, and it will freeze your game. And after that, after the while loop is finished, we can check if there is an error or not. If the string is not empty, www dot error, then we're gonna debug it. Debug dot log error, www dot error. Then we're gonna break this coroutine, yield break. After the file is finished downloaded and there is no error, we continue on this line. We're gonna file dot write all bytes, save it to a folder, a DLC folder, write file dot write all bytes, the file path, and the www dot bytes. I mean bytes. There we go. And actually but there is some problem here. The file dot write all bytes is not available in mono subsets. So whenever you build an assets bundle, it will use mono subsets. So the file dot write all bytes will be not available. So we need to create a compiler dependency. I mean, we check if we compile it for web player or not. If it's not Unity web player, then we can use this line. If this is not the Unity web player, then we can use this line. If it's not Unity, if it's Unity web player, then we cannot use this line. We cannot use class file dot write all bytes. Okay, done with this. After that, let's continue on the UI element. Create a UI. I'm gonna use scroll view to display the list. I'm gonna group it on a rectangle. Create empty. I'm gonna name this dlc list. Drag and drop it to here. Then I'm not gonna use the horizontal scroll bar. Not gonna use the horizontal scroll bar. Permanent, set it to permanent. And then in the content, create new image and set the sprite to background. I will name this object as DLC. Create a new image on it. This will be the DLC image, the preview, but we will not cover about this part. It will be covered in the next video. Create a text. This will be the name of this bundle, of this DLC. Just set it to whatever you want. Create a new button. This will be the download button. And create a slider. This will be the progress bar. Place it under the button, and whenever we click the download button, then we will disable this button. Then we saw the slider. just like that, and add a component, the script that we just create, DLC, and reference the UI. The image is here, and this will be the background image, this will be the name text, the progress bar, the download button, when it's available we're gonna use this color, and when it's downloaded we're gonna use this color. Okay, I typed a wrong variable here, I'm gonna fix it. Available color. Set it again. Yeah, save the scene and name it mine, because we're gonna load a mine scene from the DLC scene. Save it, go back to our script, we're gonna continue the unity dlc.cs. From here we're gonna we're gonna load the DLC from our folder, not from our URL. So create another enumerator, I will name this load assets or load DLC, whatever you call it. First I'm going to check if we have the directory DLC path or not, the DLC folder. If there is no directory, yeah, first we need to add system.io using system.io, and then we can use directory class directory.exist. if it's not exist, DLC path, then we're gonna create this path, directory.create directory DLC path, and then we continue on the next line. First we're gonna delete the Unison previously downloaded DLC files I mean we're gonna get the list of assets bundle, and we're gonna unload it to make sure we unload it. First we're gonna need some static variable, static list is part of system.collection.generic, so you need to add it, system.collections.generic. then we can use list. I think I will make this over here, list of assets bundle, static. We're gonna make a static variable, static list assets bundle, and we name it asset bundles is equal to new list. We also need static list of string atau DLC scene or scene names is equal to new list. Then we continue over here, we're gonna unload all of this assets bundle from this list. So create a for each loop for each assets bundle in DLC bundle, I mean asset bundles, then we're gonna unload it, bundle.unload, true, and then clear the list, assets bundles dot clear, scene names dot clear. After that, now we can get our assets bundle from our disk, from our folders. And to do that, I'm gonna use a while loop, create an init variable e for the index, and then while e is less than dlc names dot length, then we can get the path of it, dlc path plus path dot get file name, dlc dlc urls with index I, and then if the file is exists in the folder, if we have this file in the folder is also listed over here, then we can load it. But first we're gonna check it. If file.exist path, then we can download it. I'm gonna use bundle request instead of www, instead of www. We gonna use this assets bundle request, assets bundle dot load file asyncs, load from file async path, and then wait it to finish loading, yield return bundle request, and then after we finish download it, load it from our folder, then we're gonna add it to our list, dlc asset bundles dot add bundle request dot assets bundle. And every time we download the bundle, load the bundle from the folder, we also gonna get the scene path from this assets bundle. So we're gonna add them to scene names dot add range, because we're gonna add a multiple element, an enumerable, bundle request dot assets bundle dot get our scene path, like that. And don't forget to increment the I, and then yield return null. And then after we get the DLC bundles and the scene names, we will delete Unison previously downloaded DLC files, which is the files that no longer used because of increment updates or deleted from DLC list. So I will do that over here. Delete Unison. First, I'm going to get all of the files from the DLC folder, the file name, the file path, dlc files is equal to directory dot get files, and the directory is our DLC path, and we're gonna use some for each loop, string file name in DLC files if the path dot get extension dot get the extensions of the file name, if it's not equal to dot meta, the meta is the unity informations file, it available in every project folder like this. This is the meta file. We don't need this meta file actually with our bundle. If it's not a meta file, then I'm gonna create a variable type of ball used is equal to false. Then we're gonna check to every list of our DLC for each string URL in our DLC URLs. If we have this file name in the DLC URL list, then if URL dot ends with path dot get file name, then used is true, then it is used. Break this for each loop, and then if it's not used, then we're gonna delete it. File dot delete file name, delete this. Okay, so that's how we do that, how we delete Unison's file. And yeah, also we need a public method, public void init. This will initialize our script, and from this method we're gonna start load assets, start coroutine, load assets. And when we start the game and after we download our list text file, then we're gonna initialize our script. Yeah, then after we have the DLC name, the DLC URLs, and we have the load assets, and the thing we need to do is show our DLC list to the screen. So create a public method void show DLC, and yeah, change this type of game object to DLC because we not use game object. And for each, first we're gonna clear all of the child transform from this root DLC container. So for each transform T in the root DLC container, then we're gonna destroy it, destroy trans T dot game object. And after we destroy all of it, we can loop through all the DLC name. For integer e is equal to 0 if e is not DLC names dot length, is if e, as long as e is less than DLC names dot length, then we can continue this for loop, create a variable, I'm gonna name it clone, instantiate an object which is the dlc prefab.game object, and then convert it as game object, and we will set the parent of instantiated game object or our clone object to the root container of dlc. Clone.transform.setParent to the root container of dlc, root dlc container, and we also gonna initialize our dlc script. We're gonna call this method from here. So clone.getComponent, the type of component is dlc, and we're gonna call the method called init, and we're gonna pass some argument here, which is dlc name and dlc url. It's a dlc names with index I, and then dlc url with index I, and after that set the prefab to active, clone.game object or .set active to true, because from the first time the prefab will be inactive. Okay, so we have the dlc list, and now what we need is the scene list. First, to make a scene list, I'm gonna need a reference to the UI. So create a header UI scene list maybe, and create a reference of transform root container, create a reference to the button of the scene button, prefab. Yeah, we need to add unity engine.ui, and then create another variable again, public text. I'm gonna name this label text. It's the name of our scene, and then yeah, we can instantiate this prefab from here. I'm gonna make another public method, which is actually I'm gonna copy the script from our previous project, from our previous video here, sets bundle scene. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this one. Where is it? There we go. I'm gonna copy this and then create a method public void refresh scene list. First, we need to destroy the previous scene list for each transform t in the root container. Then we're gonna destroy it, destroy t.game object. After that, we can paste the copied code, and then change this load assets bundle scene to copy this method, also paste it over here, and pretty much it. We finished this. Actually, we need to add using unity engine scene management. And actually, when are we gonna call this refresh scene list? it's called when we finish loading our assets, which is here. So here we're gonna call refresh chain list. Did I miss something? Let's check all of this code. Refresh list, okay. So DLC, when are we call this so DLC? It's from actually we're gonna call this show DLC when we saw this DLC list. So there is a button here, and that button will call the show DLC, and also the show DLC will be called from dlc.cs when we finish downloading our DLC. Then we're going to refresh our DLC list. So unity dlc.mine.show DLC. Yeah, and next thing to do is reference our object to this script. I'm going to create a button here, create new button, and when I click this button, I will call manager unity dlc dot like init, okay, because we're gonna go back to the chain list, duplicate DLC list, or just copy that from our previous video mine bundle. I'm gonna copy this from here, mine bundle canvas scroll fill. I'm going to drag and drop it to here and remove this chain because we don't need that. And this is our chain list. Gonna rename it to chain list, drag and drop the chain list scroll fill to this rectangle, and then yeah, it works. This button will call manager dot show DLC, unity dlc.show DLC, and the label of this button will be show DLC. Is that correct? Okay, correct. What about the DLC list button dot unity dlc.init? Okay, it's correct. And yeah, we still need to manage this button, because every time we duplicate this image, it will not align perfectly. What I want is like this. What I wanted is like this, that and that. So we need to add a layout element. Gonna check the preferred width and preferred height, and in the content rectangle add a vertical layout group. Not gonna force expand the child in the width and height. Actually the width is check it, and then add a content size filter. Just like in the previous video, this component will make this rectangle fit to their content, so set the vertical fit to preferred size. So whenever I duplicate my button, I mean DLC image, then it will be listed perfectly. Good. Set this image to inactive, then move it so it's not the child of this content. Yeah, what about this? Okay, good. And the last things, when we click this button, this will be the button to show scene. This will activate the scene list. So scene list dot game object dot set active to true, and then this also will make our own game object to inactive, set it to false, and vice versa with this canvas list button. Set it to active, true, and set our game object to inactive. Then it's good to go. We just need to reference our UI, root DLC container. Okay, root DLC container is our content rectangle, and the DLC prefab is our DLC image, and the DLC image is also containing our DLC component here. It will drive the download process, and then UI scene list will be the root of container will be our content rectangle, prefab will be our button, the text label will be our scene name text, and we're ready to go. Play the game and see what happened. First, enable the scene list, save the game, play the game. Woohoo, there's something wrong. Our scene button is still active. Set it to inactive. Play the game. Yeah, we don't have any scene because we haven't downloaded any DLC. So we saw the DLC here. We have 2 DLC available to download, and whenever we click download, and then a new folder will be created here, the DLC folder. First, I'm going to delete this folder to make sure the DLC will be created automatically. Back to Unity, download this DLC. Now, yeah, there's something that I forget, which is I forget to apply this download button. So when we click this button, we're gonna call DLC component dot download. So it will call this here we go. It will call this method and start coroutine call download and download the DLC. Save the game, play it again, and see what happened. So the DLC download Unity logo, and it finished downloading, and then we can actually show the scene again. There's Unity's logo available. Click on it to load the scene, and it works. Go back to my scene, and I'm going to download another DLC, primitive models, download it. Okay, finish. So scene again, and we have 2 additional scene, and I can load it. And what about if I load this bundle from another project. So I'm going to load another project. Going to load this. Going to copy our script from the assets bundle skin project. Copy this, drag and drop it to another project. What the? No. I picked the wrong folder. Actually, I need this folder, Unity DLC system. Copy that. Just like that. And actually we need to add another script, which is from this folder, assets bundle scene button. No. Let's see. Yeah, button extensions. We need this script, assets bundle scene. Copy that. Damn. Okay. Load our mine scene. And remember, we don't have any assets that used in the previous project here. So let's test it. So DLC, we have available DLC, download it, show scene, and we have 3 scene available to load, and it works. But there is something missing here, which is this logo is not rotating at all like in the previous scene. Like in these games, it's not rotating because we don't have any script called rotator.cs in this project. So you need to add them manually, not with the assets bundle, because a script is an assembly file. It cannot be built into an assets bundle. And what happened? I cannot go back to the mine scene. Yeah, maybe I need to add my scene to the build settings. Like that. What happened actually? There we go. We don't have a script called at the scene button. We need to add this script also to this project, so we can go back to the mine scene. So load our scene, and then we can go back to mine scene. Yeah, it works. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please thumbs up this video, share it if you found this useful, and subscribe for more videos. It's free. Videos like this take hundreds of hours to make. Please consider support us on Patreon or share the video. Spread the words!